Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with episode 31 of Chart Watch and new release news and music biz chat, and a quick update on our campaign for polylined inner sleeves for all vinyl releases, all new releases, or anti-static archival sleeves instead of those paper, dusty, cheap thingies we seem to get with so many new pressings nowadays. The amount of comments I'm getting coming in, and messages, emails, direct messages, everything from music fans all around the world is people really are getting behind this. Anyway, we're going to start, as we always do, we're looking at the UK album chart and a few of the things that have just popped in. And some of it is quite surprising. So let's kick off. Number one is Lana Del Rey, who's gone at number one. Depeche Mode at number two, Fall Out Boy at number three. These are new entries. And number four is a new entry from Pink Floyd. And it is Dark Side of the Moon live at Wembley, straight in at number four. And at number 17, Pink Floyd are there again with Dark Side of the Moon. And this is the 50th anniversary edition. I presume this is the box set. So I know it had a lot of bad press on this channel. My overview was not that positive, but there again, the tons and tons of comments were equally not that positive. But you know, it's selling, and it's at number 17. Also in the rock metal area is Baby Metal, with the other one, which is on Cooking Vinyl, which is a great label, and that's gone in number 32. Elton John is in at number 33 with Honky Chateau, and that's on the Rocket label. That's a deluxe edition. The Kinks are back in at number 41 with The Journey, and Nirvana have also bounced back into the chart at number 64 with Nevermind. So let's look at some of the numbers behind this. Now, the number one position by Lana Del Rey. Now, this has sold really well. I think it's one of the fastest or biggest selling number one albums since Taylor Swift. Because normally on this channel, I'm saying that the number one album gets around between 19, 22,000 sales to get to number one. This is actually basically just under 42,000 sales. And in this week's chart watch, for the items that I'm looking at, vinyl is definitely doing very, very well. So out of Lana's 41,925 sales, 9,717 of those were CD and 20,809 were vinyl albums. So it's basically double vinyl sales next to CD for Lana's album. There were 2,582 cassettes, 998 digital downloads, and a further 7,819 sales equivalent streams. So well done for Lana. That's gone straight in at number one. She also has another album also creeping back up the charts as well. Depeche Mode sold 22,000. So without Lana, they would have been number one. This has gone in at number two, and that has made 22,078 sales. I'm going to go straight to number four, which is The Dark Side of the Moon, which has been in and out of the charts. Has it ever been out of the charts? For 50 years. Now it's bounced back up to number 17 with 4,000 sales, and this is the 50th anniversary edition. I can't tell exactly from the data I got whether that is the box set or a standalone version of the album. But what I can tell you is that Wembley Empire Pool live, Dark Side of the Moon, is a straight in number four with 13,000 sales. Now, I think without seeing the breakdown of formats there, I would say that that's almost undoubtedly almost 100% vinyl. The only people who would have bought this on CD, from my perspective, are people who didn't realize this has already been released before on CD. When the Immersion set came out in 2011, Dark Side of the Moon was released as a 2 CD set, and this was included in it. So I've already seen on quite a few Amazon reviews people feeling a bit miffed because they have bought it on CD and realized they've already got it. So these things happen, but I reckon most of this has been done on vinyl. Now, I don't have this on vinyl. I've already got it on CD, and that will do for me. But those people who have bought it on vinyl, I'm seeing 100% 10 out of 10 reviews for it. Unlike the Animals reissue, which was really badly pressed from what I can see, with a lot of noisy vinyl. This seems to be done impeccably well. And all the reviews I'm seeing positive, and the price is between £16 and £19 for the vinyl album, gatefold sleeve, nice cover. So if you don't have this or you're collecting vinyl, it does look a very good deal. It really does. And the other thing was just want to touch on for the UK album chart was Tokyo metal band Baby Metal, the first Japanese act to secure top 40 album with their fourth release, the other one, which has had 3,218 sales. As I say, this is on Cooking Vinyl Records. So well done to them. And the Kinks are back in the charts with a career that goes back 60 years with 2,299 sales. Now, overall, the physical album market accounts for 17.86%. That's up from last week's 12%, is it? So for the physical market, nearly 18% is pretty damn good. So that's 402,280 sales for the physical market. The only thing I want to look at is the official record store top 20, based on CDs, vinyl, and other physical formats sold through the top 100 UK independent record stores. So this excludes HMV. I've mentioned Lana, she's number 1. The Kinks, number 4. Pink Floyd, this Dark Side of the Moon live is at number 5. Jeff Goldblum is number 7. Baby Metal in at number 8. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, the main studio album, is obviously number 14 in this chart. And Saxon, with More Inspirations, their second covers album, is in new at number 20. Indie albums, I'll just touch on it on this. Baby Metal at number 1, Saxon at number 5 in the indie chart. Motorhead, Everything Louder Forever, number 8. Pink Floyd, Live at the Brighton Dome. This is Audio Vaults. This is one of these kind of grey releases that are coming out for Floyd and Zeppelin. And I'm not sure what the quality is like on this one, but it's gone at number 9. Killing Joke, who in at number 24. Again, Cooking Vinyl with the Hosannas from the Basements. And Radiohead at OK Computer is at number 29. So we're now going to move on to new release news. The first one on my list is Joe Bonamassa's new live album. How many live albums has Joe Bonnamassa done? Anyone take a guess? I don't know, but I know it's a lot. Tales of Time will be released by Proverb Mascot record label on April the 14th. And it's a live album recorded and filmed at the Red Rocks Amphitheatre in Colorado, where Joe performs the entirety of his album Time Clocks, plus seminal tracks from his back catalogue. The new live album is going to be on CD, DVD, CD, and Blu-ray, 3 LP, 180 gram vinyl. So lots of different formats there as well. Just while I'm there on lots of different formats, I think when I was talking to Sid Griffin from the Long Riders, we were talking about how many formats will continue. I think they all will continue to some degree, but I wonder whether someone mentioned this with U2 getting to number 1 last week. The kind of drip of the releases once an album comes out, of there's so many different coloured vinyl formats, variants, which kind of pushes the album further up the charts when people are buying, these very limited editions, sometimes 300 copies, the orange one, the green one, the splatter vinyl one. And obviously that's going to help an established band, because their established fan base, part of that fan base are going to be such uber fans, they're going to buy all of it. And each one of those counts as a sale, and it's multiple sales from one individual. And obviously that's going to push an album into the charts. Now, a lot of younger bands, new bands, without that kind of budget can't do that. You literally, you're waiting in your queue to get your album pressed, and you're going to go for whatever color you can get. And you can't really have multiple versions because you don't have the budget. It's marketing, and maybe it's something that makes people think, well, maybe I need to still go for the major label or what have you. But, it does make me think, especially the way that U2 ran that campaign. Anyway, I've digressed. Other new releases is Mike Oldfield and Tubular Bells, the 50th anniversary edition. Now, some ways I feel like I've just done this because I had the Cleopatra Records orchestral version, 50th anniversary, which was flawed in its execution, and it felt like such a letdown for such a seminal album. Well, maybe it's because this was waiting in the wings. This has been completely overseen by Mark Oldfield. It features a previous unreleased 2017 demo, Jubilee Bells for the intro. The LP version features a new half-speed Abbey Road master from the 1973 original mix, plus hard-to-find versions of the iconic work, double LP, CD formats, and an exclusive Blu-ray available through Super Deluxe Edition. I've got it. I've got multiple versions of this album. As I've said before, I don't have an original vinyl version, but I've got the CD, I've got the double CD, I've got the deluxe edition CD. I think the one that probably people look at is the Dolby Atmos version on Super Deluxe Edition's Blu-ray. I imagine that's the one that probably looks the most exciting if you want to have a different experience with it. So, but that is out on May the 26th. Now I'm going to go back to the new wave of British heavy metal. I recently interviewed Bob Weir from the Tigers of Pantang, and this is another new wave of British heavy metal band that have resurfaced, haven't been around for a long time, and that is Trespass. I think Trespass were on the same label, Heavy Metal Records, as me when I was in the Handsome Beasts, but it's great to see them back. And they've got a new album called Wolf at the Door. It comes to issues and subjects close to their hearts, especially environmental themes. Good for them. The album was written by founding member and guitar player and vocalist Mark Sutcliffe at his home studio, and being later recorded at Crooks Hall Studios, all in the wilds of Norfolk. And that comes out on May the 26th. I've seen a video for the new single, and it sounds really, really good. Also on my radar is Ratt, The Atlantic Years. Now, it doesn't seem that long ago that I reviewed the Ratt, The Atlantic Years on Cherry Red. I think it was H&E, wasn't it? I think my only criticism of that box set was the fold-out poster rather than the booklet. But the remastering was absolutely brilliant, and it's much better than the original album series. So here we are again with June this year, with The Atlantic Years being issued this time by BMG. Doesn't seem, as I say, we're seeing lots of things coming around in quite small periods of time where they come out again. Now, on my list, it says it's coming out as a CD box set. Now, this is BMG, and it's called The Atlantic Years. And we had Dokken, and then we've had Motley Crue. I think there's a good chance that this is going to be a vinyl box set as well, which, will be interesting because some of these have been out of print for a very long time. I think I've only got the first two albums, Evasion of Privacy and Out of the Cellar, on vinyl myself, actually. So that's due. And also, the other thing that's on my radar is Government Mule. They've got a new album out as well. I don't have any details, but I love Government Mule. Do I have anything else here? I do. There's a band from Norway called Fixation. The press release says they're a metalcore act, first appearing in 2020, quickly made a name for themselves with the release of their debut EP called Global Suicide. I don't really know terms like metalcore that well, but it sounds like effervescence. It's kind of really kind of gothic, symphonic kind of metal, but they're a great band. I really, really like them. Their single Stay Awake, released in 2021, and it managed to capture the attention of notable international media outlets such as Metal Hammer, Kerrang Magazine, etc. And they're a great band. The picture's on here, and I'll put a link in the description as well. But they're called Fixation, and they're from Norway. The other retrospective release I'm looking at is, of course, Wishbone Ash and Argus, the 50th anniversary edition. This is definitely heading towards now Spinning Magazine towers, and that's why I've got the vintage years out behind me. I just love Wishbone Ash, and I know not some people say Argus has been overdone. It's not my favourite Wishbone Ash album. 'Tis mine. I just love it. Now, this comes with a 60-page book. It's LP, replica tour, newspaper, numbered certificate. But the meat and spuds of it is 2 LPs. Argus, replica in gatefold sleeve, remastered for the release. Then Argus Live on yellow vinyl with selected recordings of Alexander Palace and Memphis.
There are 3 CDs, Martin Turner's Argus Remaster, good move, Live at the Alexandria Palace, 1973, and the full Memphis one from 72, plus 4 previously unreleased early version on demo. There's a DVD with French and Swiss TV footage, Live Up from the Rainbow in 1973 and broadcast from 1974, and a 7-inch red vinyl single of Blowing Free. Fantastic. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Now, it's a fairly short episode this week because I'm compiling going to be the webpage and probably a separate video and roundup of all the comments I've had on the Now Spinning Magazine campaign for the poly-lined inner sleeves for all new vinyl releases. But I just wanted to read this out. This is from Graham Harvey, who's a member of the Now Spinning Magazine private Facebook collectors group. And he's been collecting music for a very long time. So he's seen every kind of fashion and phase of vinyl releases through the decades. And I'm just going to read out what Graham says. I've been a music fan all my life and have been collecting LPs since 1962. That's over 60 years. Now, whilst there's always been the occasional album full of static on purchase and dodgy inner sleeves, the current state of the market is a disgrace. So often these days, brand new LPs are so full of static that removal from the sleeve is difficult, and to add more problems, they need cleaning before they are even played. A lot of this is down to the poor quality paper inner sleeves that are used, which have remnants of paper dust inside them. And you've seen on this channel, on these videos, and what I've mentioned in the podcast, the exact examples of that on records as you pull them out for the first time, they have paper dust in the grooves. A worst case scenario can result in minor scratches the first time the record is taken out the sleeve for the first time. Why has this become such a problem with the vinyl revival, and why aren't decent anti-static polyline sleeves provided with the product? Cheap, hasty manufacturing is the answer, in my opinion, which is a disgraceful situation. Like many LPs these days, I buy my own supply of quality inner sleeves, which I use as replacements for those provided as necessary. As someone who was brought up on playing LPs and still loves the format, it annoys me intensely that so little care goes into how the final product is packaged. In any other commercial undertaking, the business would fail if brand new products had to be adapted at the buyer's expense to make it fit for use. The music industry owes its loyal customers a decent product with decent packaging. We demand anti-static decent sleeves to keep our LPs in pristine condition. And I don't think that's, demanding too much, is it? You see the price of records, 30, 40 pounds, and it's all this blurb about it's 180 grams, it's a gatefold sleeve, etc. And then you get it out and you've got paper dust on your record. And some have got polyline sleeves and some haven't. But surely, as I've said before, that must be part of your marketing to actually say, and all your blurb, all the stuff I've just read out then about some of the albums coming out in so many different formats, that it actually says, comes with standard, with anti-static polyline inner sleeve as standard. It's going to help you shift them, because there must be so many young music fans who are finding this out to themselves, thinking, they've got to clean the records. How many, as I've said before, how many, people still living with your parents have got room in your bedroom for a record washing machine? Just provide, with everything that goes into it, provide the right inner sleeve for the product you're selling. And because there will be more and more people now, we'll be sending them back. And that is not, as I've said before, a very clever business model, is it, when the amount of returns? And in fact, on Amazon, they're now starting to list on products to say this is frequently returned. I've seen it on a turntable that has been frequently returned because it's not up to standard. And I can imagine some vinyl albums will start to say that, and it will stop people buying them. And the sleeves are great, the card's great, the vinyl pressings, good quality vinyl, but you just made the cheapest white dusty paper, and it's just not on for the price of the product. So that is what our campaign is all about. Keep your comments coming in and your suggestions. Let me know what you think from wherever you are. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the podcast, the website, this YouTube channel. Wherever you are, let me know what you think. I'm compiling all the information, all of your comments, and I'm going to send them off to various record companies and see what we can do to get this changed. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Remember, music is the doctor and the healer. Stay safe, and I shall see you on my next episode.